What's up YouTube? Capital G here. Looks like we might have ourselves another Link monster hitting the ban list. It seems like the Link Frames packs have been giving us a lot of those because if you think about it, Rusty Bardiche got banned from Link Frames pack 2 and you can kind of say Needle Fiber is like unofficially banned because Konami's never going to give us that card from Link Frames 1. So yeah, maybe this will be the Link Frames card that gets banned from Link Frames 3. We knew that this card was just way too easy to make. Two monsters with the same type or attribute. Basically, any archetype in Yu-Gi-Oh! Can like summon this card, and if you happen to have a dark monster or a dragon monster on the field, you can pull out that little Buster Blader from your deck and lock your opponent out of their extra deck. It's actually, people have said it before, it reminds me very much of Gen Release or Rituals, except Gen was only applicable for Necros and Ritual decks. This can be used in basically any deck, and I mean, come on guys, I got freaking Galaxy here that is going to show you how easy it is to drop this. By the way, why on earth can you summon Union Carrier using tokens? I have no idea why. You can flip over a Scapegoat and use those Scapegoat tokens to summon Union Carrier. You can use these Photon tokens right here. It honestly is just way too easy of a card, and I predicted it. I said in my review, I think people are going to be willing to run the Buster Blader Link monster, or excuse me, the Buster Blader monster in their deck as a brick, because if you don't draw it, you can just kind of win. So you're seeing getting monsters on board is fairly easy when it comes to like Galaxy. They do have their own Link monster, Soul Flare Dragon, which came out in Soul Fusion if I'm not mistaken. When it's summoned, it can add like a Galaxy or a Photon monster from your graveyard back to your hand, so you get the reuse. It also makes like discarding with your Galaxy Soldier makes it hurt a lot less, because you can discard a Photon, summon this guy, and then add that monster back. Galaxy Knight, when this card is summoned, it can pull back like the Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from the graveyard, and I believe he's going to go probably for number 90, the big rank 8. He's going to summon the Galaxy Soldier. He's going to make that Union Carrier. And guess what? Wouldn't you know, by the way, keep in mind, he is locked into the light attribute the entire turn. He can only summon light attribute monsters, but it doesn't matter because Union Carrier just happens to be a light attribute monster, and he summoned a dragon in the process. So obviously he's going to equip that Buster Blader from his, or that Buster Blader monster from his deck. And best of all, it was only a 2000 attack monster, so there are some decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! That can maybe normal summon and beat over that without going into the extra deck, but then when you make it 3000, it becomes a lot more difficult. Obviously, his opponent's going to have a rough time playing Spiral against that. I think he's going to normal summon, not Quick Fix, the drone, and use the effect, try to stack his opponent's deck. He goes for Super Agent. His opponent just negates it with 90. Basically, the duel is over at that point. He could summon it back from the graveyard with Monster Reborn, but then it wouldn't matter, because what are you doing from there? You can't link summon, so you would just have a super. I guess actually he'd be able to attack over the Union Carrier. That'd be something at least, but he wouldn't have like a way of actually winning the duel, and he didn't have a way of dropping the sleeper because he didn't have two spirals in the graveyard. It's kind of insane to me how easy it is to incorporate Union Carrier in its strategy. It's very, very much like Brilliant Fusion, but maybe even a little better, because this is a lot easier to kind of incorporate. With Brilliant Fusion, you had to run like 3 Brilliant Fusions plus the Brick Garnet. With this, you're only running 1 copy of your Dragon Buster Destruction Swordsman, Destruction Sword. Keep in mind, if you hard draw this card, Union Carrier allows you to equip from your hand. So even if you hard draw it, it's not going to be a problem, and you don't have to clog up your main deck with any, just kind of like bricky garbage or any of that stuff. You just leave this card in the extra deck, and there are a lot of different archetypes that have monsters of the same type and that have monsters of the same attribute. So this card can be summoned in way too many decks. I honestly think that this card might just end up getting banned, because if you have a dark or you have a dragon on field, you basically just domain lock your opponent. But yeah, I didn't expect even a deck like Galaxy would be able to abuse this card. Anyways, let's pause for one quick second and check out this deck. So this is what the deck looks like. By the way, I have to point this out. I love 3 copies of Tachyon Transmigration. I love this card so much. A counter trap that can be activated from the hand. I know that we have that with Red Reboot, but this one it's still kind of close to my heart, because it's like the first one that I think of when I think of counter traps that can be activated from the hand. And yeah, I feel like when Union Carrier comes out to the TCG, which, who knows when that's going to be, it could be as early as Ignition Assault, Assault, it could be an Eternity Code for the TCG, who honestly knows. I kind of feel like you're going to see a lot of decks doing this. You're going to see decks that basically have no problem at all incorporating the Union Carrier strategy into their deck, because you look at this main deck and it's like, oh yeah, this looks like a regular Galaxy Photon deck. I mean, there's really nothing out of place here. And then you have the one card that kind of works with Union Carrier. You're going to have that one Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. I said this from the second that I reviewed this card. I was like, man, I guarantee you people are going to throw this one little random Buster Blader card in their decks to potentially domain lock the opponent, because these decks can summon this card so easily. I mean, he was locked under the light attribute, and yet he still was able to get it on board, also to get number 90, which has some built-in negation and protection at the same time. So yeah, hopefully, I don't know, man, hopefully Konami realizes this strategy and decides to take care of this card. Or, I mean, you wouldn't want to ban a Buster Blader card, right? Like a random ass, but people were saying that in the comment section. People were like, yeah, rest in peace to the Dragon Buster Destruction Sword, because that's like the main thing that kind of breaks this card, even though it is still stupidly easy to summon. DP Yu-Gi-Oh said that this card should have only worked with Union monsters, and yeah, I gotta agree. I don't understand why they made a Union-based Link monster and then kind of made it work with everything and with every archetype in the game. That's just kind of like weird card design. But yeah, whatever you guys think, leave it in the comment section below.